Okay, this is a brief comparison between the new KZ ZAX and the CCA CA16. They're both one dynamic, 7 balanced armature, exact same configuration. The companies are associated. Maybe CCA is a sub-brand of KZ, if I understand this correctly, so they might be making this all in the same factory. The price difference between the two is $1. This is the new KZ ZAX on Linsole, and it's $60 straight. And the CA16 is $59, so you've got $1 difference between the two of them. Listening to my music, for example, Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing, the Roland 808, Violent Femmes, slightly slackened 4-string bass guitar, Tupac, deck mixed, hit, Led Zeppelin, authoritative kick drum, Eurythmics, synthesizer, keyboards, Led Zeppelin, Dazed Confused, a 4-string bass guitar, mids, Dire Straits, Sultan of Swing, Mark's vocals, the guitar solo, the whole song pretty much. Fleetwood Mac, 2 female, 2 male singers and a lot of tracks. Doobie Brothers, Black Sabbath, Jim Croce, Pink Floyd, Metallica, listening to a lot of stuff. It is of my opinion that the CCA CA16 is the superior set to the ZAX, but not some smashing difference. The ZAX is going to have its fans because it's a KZ, and because it's $60, and it's fucking sexy as hell. Looks wise, it's dope. The TRN V90 is over there. I have not listened to it in a long time. I broke it out to kind of compare with these two to see, how far or not Chef-I's coming. I actually think that both of these set are better than the TRN V90. The TRN V90 has a metallic sound that I didn't know before, but there's been progress made. The way they position the tweeter BAs, or I don't know what they're doing different, but it sounds like an improvement to me, both of these. In the bass, the CCA is graphing, is being more potent, and it sounds more potent listening to some of the music I just mentioned. For example, Big Boy, Kill Jill. This is a hit, a triple hit, and it sounds more authoritative. There's more presence of the low frequency. There's more meat on the notes on the CCA than on the ZAX. How much of that is graph bias? Because once you look at a graph and compare an A and a B item, and then you see that the bass is elevated, then you start to look and listen for that. It could be. But it sounded to me like on a track like this, on Tupac, on 4-string bass, on the Violent Femmes, it did sound like there was more boom going on with the low end on the CCA. If you got the CCA CA16 and you like it, you got a really good set. I think they did a good job. In this price range, it's quite good. It makes me know and realize that the TRN V90's day has passed for me. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with that now. And even something that's got more treble on a graph doesn't sound quite as up there as the V90 does. So let me go ahead and show you a graph real quick comparison. Again, dynamic driver, 7 BAs on both of these. The bass is elevated more on the CA16. That's notable on the track that I just showed you. Also on Dire Straits, Sultan of Swing, the main is Mark, the vocals, and his guitar solo, which is fucking brilliant, but the bass guitar in the background is really pinning down the track. Not really the drummer, the bassist is on this track, and it's coming through more natural and realistic to me. That's Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. I like the replay on the CCA better than I do on the ZAX. It just sounds more, that little bit of difference. Like with a couple brother sets that were released not too long ago. One has sub-bass focus, one has a little more mid-bass. You can tell the difference. Little subtle differences in the low frequency. You can tell. That more bass on the CCA CA16 shows itself with my library, and I enjoy it because these are both V's, and they're both doing it pretty well. The mids on both of these, listening to, including the track just mentioned, Sultan of Swing by Dire Straits, the mid frequencies sound quite similar. The difference would be when you get into the treble, as the graph just showed. The vocals on some tracks sound a little bit, for example, America, Tin Man, that's on my board over there. It should be right here. The vocal when he comes in on this song, and also the acoustic guitar, sounds more in your face, is how they say. How I say anyway. This right here. The difference between this and this. This is, you look at that big spike, it's maybe 10. It's not 9, but maybe 10, that bar right there. It doesn't really affect or create any havoc with the cymbal life and death. It's not ideal, but it's not really bad. I prefer the ZAX, but that's not what's getting on me. This is what's getting on me. This is the difference, and you learn this because if you have something with an EQ, especially a PEQ, you can look at stuff and think, is that what it is? And you can pull something down or raise it up and then realize, for example, if you went ahead and took, let's say, 750 on a PEQ with something that had good mids and then pulled it down, you could understand how much of scooped mids bork the replay of vocals. Or the other way, you could push it up and give it a fucking crazy sound. So sometimes playing with a PEQ with a good solid set and pulling and boosting stuff can give you a kind of an example of what this type of elevation does to vocals, some guitar, especially stuff like Jim Croce, Operator, where he is pretty much the only thing going on in the production. Guitar, Jim Croce, a microphone, that's pretty much what's going on, and if it's elevated, there's no escape because that's what your brain is focusing on. So I think something like the CCA, the way it's tuned, is more designed for stuff like that, and basically my library in general. So I would rec people that got the CCA CA16, if you like it and you're on a budget, I would say to stay where you are. My opinion, if you have this set and you like it and you're not on a budget and you like to play around, the ZAX is a beautiful looking set. It's going to give you a different presentation, but you like that or not is, who knows. My ears, the way that I listen, the gear I use, my files, this is all specific, but it's context, and I'm just giving you an angle. Like, this is how I see this, not how others will see it. And good is what you like. I'm just giving an opinion. So it's not a bad set. If I had to pick one or the other, it obviously would be the CCA. And I discovered also that the V90 is no longer something that I'll be pulling out and comparing anymore because it doesn't really hold up any longer. Or something went wrong with it. I don't remember it being that metallic sounding in the treble. So that was a surprise. So CCA CA16, standing the test of time, and ZX, not bad. It's going to depend on your library and what you want. I don't know that this is the disqualifier for my library, but this makes it a hard, like, I'm not going to listen to a whole side of an album with that type of tuning unless the volume's turned down, and then what's the point? Because I'd like to hear. I can listen to the CA16 and get a better replay. I love the treble on the CA16, by the way. So that's the video. Unique Melody customs, the molds were sent out. They should be getting them today or tomorrow, the next day. So I'm looking forward to do a video for that. I fucking love that set. I'm going to be doing a comparison with the Z1R, the KN-N3 Pro. The Unique Melody, don't, with tubes, no, that's not necessary. The EX1000 by Sony, with tubes, sounds dope as hell. So the KN-N3 Pro, for its price, is really, really good. I like it a lot. So positive review coming for that. Love the Unique Melodies. They're my favorite IEMs, and going to be getting a custom version. You guys have been watching me maybe for a few years. I always said customs, I don't like being tied down. Fear of relationships and commitment, I don't know. But these things, if they're saying that there's a small gain to getting the customs, that 1% it's already percentages over the Z1R. If I can get more, fuck yeah, let's go. And that's it. I'm out. You guys take care. The Typhoon came. Jimi Hendrix, Tupac, Pink Floyd, Van Halen, Led Zeppelin, Bob Marley. Everybody's fine. And I'm out.